All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. My name is Stephanie Jacobo. I'm the Partnership Engagement Manager at AUSA, the Hispanic Alliance for Career Enhancement. I want to start off by thanking all of you for joining our webinar today. This webinar will be presented by one of our partners, HCFC. So we're really happy and grateful to have them and to have all of you. They'll be sharing some insightful tips on how to level up your resume. So thank you so much for attending this webinar. I do want to share a little bit more information with all of you. So AUSA is a national nonprofit organization. We have 10 main markets, Chicago being one of them, New York, Miami, DC, Texas, LA, San Francisco, and so on. So this webinar is one of the several programs that we have for the advancement of current and aspiring Latino professionals. And as part of this, also we have an opportunity for all of you to join our membership database. You will get notified on upcoming events, including our monthly coaching webinars and any professional development webinar that we offer throughout the year. So make sure that if you're interested in other opportunities to get you to that next level in your careers, that you visit our website at ausaonline.org/event. Another thing that I really wanted to point out, especially for those of you that are either in the Chicago area or are able to travel, we do have an upcoming career fair, national career fair. We will have over 32 companies participating, BlueCross BlueShield HCFC being one of them. So if you will have an opportunity to meet recruiters, to interact with them, get their insights, that will be taking place on Friday, on April 26th. So if you are looking to get registered, we will send out a follow-up email with a link to register to the career fair. As part of being part of this webinar, you will receive a 50% discount. So definitely something that is important to check out if you're currently actively looking for job opportunities. So we hope to see all of you there. With that being said, I'm going to hand this over to our partners, our HCFC presenters. So Fernando Salazar, he's a Senior Diversity and Inclusion Consultant. Do you want to take over? Are you ready to take lead?
Yes,
thank you so much for leading this webinar.
Our pleasure. Hola, AUSA. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Resume, How to Level Up and Get Hired webinar. Have you ever wondered what are the elements to create the perfect resume or LinkedIn profile to get hired? Today, you will hear from the talent acquisition experts at HCSC, Healthcare Service Corporation, BlueCross and BlueShield of Illinois, and the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, who will provide you with some industry insights and tips on how to get hired. Again, at the end of the presentation, we'll have it open for Q&A. So please, I heard that you guys asked some outstanding questions, so I look forward to seeing those questions come up. Now to present our panelists. Here are the experts for today's webinar. I would like to ask my fellow colleagues to introduce themselves, the name, the title, and the background, and how long they've been with HCSC. I'll start off with Gina.
Thanks, Fernando. Hello, everyone. Hola, I'm Gina Rivera-Smethurst. I'm the Recruitment Manager for HCSC's Healthcare Management Division. My team and I are charged with hiring clinicians enterprise-wide, and that includes nurses, medical directors, pharmacists, social workers, and a multitude of other clinical professionals. A little bit about me. I've been with HCSC for the past 9 months. I'm a veteran of the U.S. Army. However, I have 18 years of experience in talent acquisition within a variety of industries that includes healthcare, IT consulting, and automotive. I'm super excited to be here with you today. Patty?
Thanks, Gina. Hola, everyone. Hola, AUSA. Very excited to be on this webinar. My name is Patty Amaro. I'm actually born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. For those of you local to Chicago, very proud Southsider. I am currently the Talent Acquisition Manager or Recruiting Manager for BlueCross BlueShield. I oversee the hiring process for professionals on the corporate aspect of the company, overseeing the government and consumer solutions divisions, plan solution, market development, and employer network solutions. I also oversee all of the hiring efforts for all of the plans, which would include our 5 states. And a little bit more about me. I guess I have a history that dates back with this wonderful company all the way back to 2004. I actually started here as a business analyst. I have a technical background that goes way back into the mid-90s. So back when Windows was 3.1, everyone, I was a network administrator, Microsoft certified administrator, you name it, I've done it. I started to staff in the late 90s and blended my IT and staffing careers. And I've been doing this with a passion for a long time. I love recruiting people. This is my forte, so I'm very pumped about having the opportunity to speak with every single one of you and trying to help you and getting hired and providing you with some resume tips along with Gina's help and Fernando Salazar. So thanks everyone for joining.
And good afternoon once again, everyone. My name is Fernando Salazar. I'm Senior Diversity and Inclusion Consultant here at HCFC. This is my 3rd year in. I'm born and raised here in Dallas, Texas. So I'm talking all the way from Dallas, Texas, down here in the South. And I also wanted to reach out to you just to give you a perspective of my career. I started off in higher education with 11 years of experience in multicultural student affairs, then 4 years in talent acquisition and hiring the bilingual teachers for Dallas ISD, and now in my current role here in diversity and inclusion, which is the space that definitely I have a passion for and wanted to be that change agent in the industry. And guess what? Diversity and inclusion allows you to do so. So looking forward to discussing further on tips and looking forward to hearing some great questions. Next, Patty will give us an overall view of our agenda.
Awesome, thanks so much. So everyone, I hope that to strap on your seatbelts and everybody's excited. We want to cover the next few slides with everyone. First of all, we'll be overseeing the Healthcare Service Corporation story. So we're going to tell you a little bit about us. Fernando's going to cover exciting, very informative points about diversity and inclusion in action within our organization and society. We're going to dive a little bit into our purpose and our people, and then Gina's going to wrap it up for us in reviewing some resume and LinkedIn tips and career opportunities within our organization as well. And lastly, we'll leave some time for Q&A. So I'll go ahead and move on to the next slide and tell you all a little bit more about us. Healthcare Services Corporation is the largest consumer-owned health insurer in the nation and the 4th largest overall. We have over 22,000 employees serving over 1.5 million members. We currently operate as BlueCross BlueShield plans of Illinois, Montana, New Mexico, Oklahoma, and Texas, as well as a variety of affiliates and subsidiaries. We are expanding access to high-quality, cost-effective health care, and our purpose is and has been to do everything in our power to stand with our members in sickness and in health. So if we can just kind of put ourselves in the mindset here and think about what we've been doing. For more than 80 years, HCFC has been dedicated to expanding access to high-quality, cost-effective health care and equipping our members with information and tools to make the best healthcare decisions for themselves and their families. As an industry leader, we have been helping to make healthcare systems work better for all Americans. So in order for us to remain competitive and remain a leader, we have to think about innovation and talent. They go hand in hand. So that's going to take me to my next slide. Today, with the industry at an important crossroad, HCFC is reimagining healthcare and looking for original thinkers who aren't afraid to make innovative contributions. So what exactly does innovation mean? Well, the definition of it, if you Google it, everybody Googles everything, is that innovation is the action or process of innovating. That could be a revolution, transformation, metamorphosis, restyling, variation, right? With that, I'm going to start to talk about innovation within our organization with our leader, Steve Best, and his vision. Steve Best is our Senior Vice President and CIO. He's a board member of Luminity, an organization that is mobilizing the corporate and nonprofit community to make Chicagoland a better place to work and live by providing access to STEM career readiness. Recently, in his time here, Steve has impacted the transformation of the IT operating model and comprehensive roadmap to fuel our company's future direction and growth. With that, a very impacting change that he's made is to really look at what's in a name. I'm going to quote Steve Best to give you an understanding of where we're at as a company when it comes to innovation. He says, we've made a lot of changes in how we deliver new technology-driven capabilities here at BlueCross BlueShield. These changes are fueling our technology forward strategy, which is central to our goal to put our members at the center of everything we do and create an engaging and rewarding environment for our employees. We've implemented a business-aligned operating model under the mantra of Be the Business. We have moved to a scale agile model supported by the latest development operations, tools, and processes. We have moved to an IT product-centric structure, investing in new technology and adopting microservices approach, leveraging Pivotal Cloud Foundry. So yeah, that word cloud, innovation, strategy, and technology all go hand in hand. And that is the vision that Steve Best has and the feel and the mantra that he's implemented here at BlueCross BlueShield. So great things are happening. If you come and visit us here at BlueCross BlueShield, you're going to start to experience the changes even in the physical aspect of our building and our workplace. We have adapted the Blue Workspace, which is an open area. We've got flat screens. We've got a very engaging floor on all of our IT floors, so the folks step away from their desk and play ping pong. It's a very collaborative environment. We're moving away from the cubicle, divided setup to a more forward-thinking, collaborative approach. And with that, we have to seek the talent that embraces and empowers us to continue to drive our innovation thoughts forward. Gina, do you want to take it from here?
Sure. So not only has the organization evolved, so has our employee talent. HCFC has invested in their skills and development and think of it as future skilling, as a way to modernize how we serve our members. As such, it's created a variety of available opportunities that includes program and project managers, as well as bilingual community affairs individuals. So how have we as talent acquisition evolved? Our talent acquisition team completed consultative recruiter training as a way to deepen our competencies by delivering consultative and holistic solutions to our business partners. We're continuously seeking to improve our recruitment process to provide an ever better candidate and hiring manager experience. And to find the best and the brightest, we've incorporated the use of predictive analytics. By making these investments, we have an engaged candidate, a faster fill time, and higher candidate and customer satisfaction, all while keeping HCFC as an employer of choice. Next slide.
In the space of diversity and inclusion, HCFC values diversity and inclusion to bring diverse perspectives, experiences, and approaches foster in a stronger, smarter, and more informed business. We continue to strive and create an environment where employees are valued, empowered to positively support our business objectives and recognize their individual contributions. Our commitment to diversity, we strive to empower employees to share their unique perspectives, knowing that they are valued. And we encourage them that their true selves, knowing that they will be appreciated. And as we take a little deeper dive into diversity and inclusion, our next slide shows, and one of the parts that I do here as part of my work here at HCFC is work in the D&I and diversity, inclusion, and recognition space. On this slide, you can see that the HCFC has been recognized in 2018 for the following awards. Here's a list of the awards that we received. 100% on the Corporate Equality Index, just to mention a few notabilities. 100% on Disability Equality Index, Best Place to Work for People with Disabilities, and 2018 Multi-Friendly Employer. Now, here's an award that we are most proud of, and is one that we didn't even apply for, but we're recognized for our extraordinary efforts in diversity and inclusion. Forbes magazine named HCFC as for Employer for Diversity for 2018 and 2019. At HCFC, we're committed to continue to create an inclusive workforce, and these diversity and inclusion awards are definitely a sign of our work. Our next slide shows a little bit about our business resource groups. Once you join the workforce or join our team here, you have the opportunity to join either a BRG or an employee network, and what some places call a BRG or ERG, which is a business resource group or employee resource group. At HCFC, we have 9 BRG groups, which is a total of 4,300 employees engaged in these BRGs enterprise-wide. These BRGs contribute to the overall success of the strategy of the business, and they are useful for recruiting and diverse talent and raising awareness of various cultural and fostering business relationships to engage the workforce and related issues of diversity and inclusion. So the good thing about the BRGs, you also get the opportunity to take a little deeper dive. So for example, if you are part of a university community at the moment, if you're attending a university or college, if you're joining an organization, think of that as being a BRG. If you happen to be a member of AUSA, which you are because you're on this call, you are definitely a perfect candidate to be a BRG. Not to mention, this is the perfect place to start your network, build your relationships with your fellow colleagues, and also get involved with the community and professional development opportunities. I'm part of the Latino for Advancement BRG here at HCFC, and here's a short video that highlights some initiatives, at least highlighting some of our members and what they do for our business. This will be the cue for the video.
AUSA, can you cue the video, please? Thank you.
Can't hear anything.
I think Latino employees contribute a lot to the workplace, specifically during open enrollment, just making sure we have that personal touch with the Latino community. We're going out there speaking their language, kind of knowing their traditions, having that personal touch with them. Not only that, being available to answer phone calls, answer questions, having bilingual nurses that can really understand them, not only at a healthcare level, but also at a personal level.
Latinos have unique healthcare needs. Overall, they're a healthier population and they're a younger population. And we know that when they get a chronic condition, for instance, that they have higher morbidity and mortality, which means that they have higher complications and unfortunately higher death rates. So it's important for us to be able to develop products and services that are culturally competent, that are meeting the need to make them healthier.
We are fully committed to our work. We have work ethic that comes from years and years of trying to bridge the gap between where we come from and how we're going to establish ourselves as strong forces of work for the organizations that we serve. So that loyalty and that commitment brings the dedication to what we do.
One of the things that really has helped us throughout the years is understanding what the specific needs of Latinos are. Down to, again, going back to the very rarely going to the doctor, maybe feeling like, it's not needed or we're going to try another way. And employees that are here within the company allow us to be able to tap into them as resources and really get an idea of what is that culture like? What are some of the preventing factors?
You want to say, growing up, it never went to the doctor unless you were seriously ill. And that's a stigma that we have to overcome. And I think as a culture, we've done a better job of doing that. My dad's a great example. When we were growing up, he would never go to the doctor unless he couldn't physically get up and go to work. Now, we've tried to position it as don't do it for yourself as much as you're doing it for the family. We want to make sure that he's around for all these great special occasions that we celebrate as a family, and he's really starting to come around.
Thank you, Steph, for sharing that video. As you can see, the passion of our employees. The LA members featured in this video are from Illinois, Texas, Oklahoma, and Nuevo Mexico. And I tell you, enterprise-wide, when I travel across these different plans, I definitely see the passion of our LA members. So hopefully once you join the team, you can be a part of LA and continue the great work that they continue to do. On our next slide, I want to talk about our Latino community partners. The Center for Diversity is focused on uniting talent from all lines of difference to benefit all lines of business. In doing so, we're proud to partner with the following organizations serving the Latino community: Obviously, AUSA, Cristo Rey Chicago, Cristo Rey Dallas, which in this capacity is a corporate work study program, which is a very unique program, which is a college preparatory for education, but at the same time they earn their money by working and gaining experience in corporate America setting. Prospanica, the leading college for Hispanic professional achievement, and the United States Hispanic Leadership Institute, empowering Latinos and disenfranchised groups by maximizing their civil awareness, engagement, and participation by promoting education, research, and leadership development. And we will continue to grow this list as we continue our mission with our Latino strategic partnerships. On our next slide, as Gina and Patty both mentioned about our STEAM career outlet, I get the opportunity to do a quick plug about our STEAM careers that we have here at HCFC. On the slide, you see there's a listing. We have several career opportunities in science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. If you'd like to learn more about these opportunities, please join our customary STEAM talent community by texting STEAM to 3363. Again, text STEAM to 33633 to stay connected about our STEM careers and opportunities and future events at HCNC. Now to present to you your resume tips, get noticed, and get hired, Gina and Patty from the HCSC Talent Acquisition Team.
Thanks, Fernando. So now that you've heard how great of an organization we are, we're excited to share some tips that'll get you noticed and hopefully hired as you consider your career options. So let's start with tip number 1. Be cautious about using resume templates when developing your career story. We all know templates are the quickest and easiest way to create your resume, but did you know templates won't parse your information correctly when you're uploading it to an applicant tracking system when you're applying to a job? Many times your information gets thrown together and it's not formatted correctly, and it gives the opportunity for the recruiter to miss key information about your experience. Steer clear from templates. One size doesn't fit all. Be creative and design your own. Tip number 2, provide specific examples on how you meet each of the job requirements. Be sure to take your time and read the job description. Our job requirements are exact, meaning you must have the number of years of experience and skills required for the role. So how do you share this without recreating your entire resume? This is a great opportunity to leverage a cover letter and share why you meet the criteria for the role. There are no rules per se on how long your cover letter should be, but you want to make sure it's detailed enough along with your resume and highlights how you meet the criteria. Tip number 3, highlight major accomplishments from previous experience or leadership skills through volunteerism and community involvement. So I shared that our job requirements are a bit stringent, but how do you include experience when you may not have professional experience under your belt? Perhaps think about, did you lead a project as part of a school club or something similar? This is a great opportunity to share what your role was as a project lead. You'll want to share pertinent details such as the scope of the project, how many individuals you managed, or were you responsible for, and be sure to include a budget and a timeline. It's this type of tangible information we're seeking that sets you apart from others. And let's face it, tips number 4, 5, and 6, be clear and concise throughout your resume. Does your resume read in the third person and it later translate to the first person? Have someone else read your resume and proofread it. Make sure your fonts are even and uniform. And if you're using bullets, do they all line up? You'd be surprised at the grammatical errors someone else may find. Next slide, please. So why is LinkedIn important? Did you know over 155 million workers in the U.S. have LinkedIn profiles? And over 20,000 companies in the U.S. use LinkedIn to recruit. Over 3 million jobs are posted on LinkedIn in the U.S. every month, and members can add over 50,000 skills to their profiles to showcase their professional brands. LinkedIn is one of the top sources HCFC uses to source top talent, and that includes you. So tip number 1, did you know that LinkedIn has a job board? You can create searches in LinkedIn similar to those that you would, such as with other tools such as Indeed or any other job board, either by job title and or location. You can save your job search so it sends you an email alert and notifies you of when a position becomes available. And guess what? You can do the same thing with HCSC's talent community. Have you visited our careers page and haven't found what you're looking for? Be sure to sign up for our talent community page to get those email alerts. Tip number 2, you can build your own personal brand. Consider it your personal business card. This is your opportunity to network with individuals you meet at conferences, events, and organizations you might have interest in working with. Think about your profile. Are you someone you want to engage and connect with? This said, be sure your profile is complete, including your photo, header, and take into consideration the content that you're sharing. Tip number 3, LinkedIn can help rank your name on Google. Has anybody heard of SEO or search engine optimization? This is exactly it. All major search engines such as Google, Bing, and Yahoo have primary search results for web pages, and other content such as videos or local listings are shown and ranked based on what the search engine considers most relevant to users. Don't you want to be on page 1 and not page 3? Tip number 4, it maintains your Rolodex of contacts. Can't remember who you met at the AUSA Summit, or perhaps want to follow up on a conversation you had at the event? Use LinkedIn to reach out and continue that conversation. Not only does it keep your contacts in one place, but it also keeps track of those conversations. Tip number 5, you can research companies and its employees. Leverage LinkedIn to conduct research about a potential employer by visiting their LinkedIn company page. Many companies post information about community events, share hot jobs, and other pertinent company information that will be useful to make determinations if that's a company of interest. Tip number 6, want to know who the movers and shakers are in the business? LinkedIn, like many other social media engines, feed you content that you're interested in and helps you stay current with industry news. And last but not least, tip number 7, network, network, network. Make meaningful connections. Don't connect to just connect so that your connection numbers increase. Are you connected with others at your school, colleagues, church members, or any other individuals of interest? Interested in an organization but not connected with someone at that company? Make your network connections work for you. More times than not, your network can help you make meaningful connections that can prove to be fruitful in the future. Next slide. We hope you found this information helpful. You can find us on any of these social media channels, and Fernando, Patty, and I look forward to connecting with you. We're open to your questions.
Thank you all so much and for sharing all of these insightful tips. So at this point, for those of you that are participating, if you have any questions, now is the time to ask. Like we said, or we mentioned, some of these recruiters will be participating in our summit, so you will have an opportunity to reconnect there, but definitely if you have any questions now, feel free to insert them in the question box. So I do have a couple of them. Let's see. I have a question. It says, could you please share what 3 to 5 items are largely weighed by your predictive analytics in order to recommend a candidate?
Can you repeat the question one more time?
Yes. Could you please share what 3 to 5 items are largely weighed by your predictive analytics in order to recommend a candidate?
Ooh, that's a fantastic question. So when I talked about how we've incorporated the use of predictive analytics, we've actually utilized a tool by the name of HireVue. And HireVue does an online video interview platform that uses AI, or in this sense, predictive analytics, for our candidate pool. And what it utilizes, or what it does, is it takes into context the individual who's taking the video interview. In this case, it's assessing voice, language, and movement as well. It's rating to see, the voice inflection and how the communication skills are. It's utilizing head movement or body language, and is this individual rigid? Is this individual too comfortable? It's taking into consideration both voice and text and movement as part of the predictive analytics piece.
And if I can add to that, this is Patty. If we want to even take it a step back take a couple steps back for the audience who's currently in the job market or considering, seeing what's out there. Maybe we've inspired some folks to take a look on our careers website. To add to some of the resume tips that Gina pointed, I've been, looking at resumes for well over 20-something years now, to date myself. And one of the key things is that folks need to remember that looking for a job, for the right job, is a job in itself. It takes time, it takes attention to detail, and it takes a lot of patience. So in general, I would encourage the audience to make sure that they read the job descriptions thoroughly, and that they take a minute to customize their resume to speak to the roles and responsibilities, and specifically the desired or preferred skills, closely, and update the resume to read to those specific skills. Because as everybody should know by now, every single organization, monster, career builder, recruiter, what have you, has a form of a database where we collect all of the resumes. And typically what we want to do is we want to see the relative skills. We want to look at a job description and we want to see a resume that reads specifically to the skills that we've mentioned in the resume. So make sure you take the time to customize and update your resume. For example, if you're a business analyst, my thought would be read every single job opportunity that you apply to, and make sure that if you're applying to a bank as a business analyst and you have specific financial software, update your resume to include that. If you're pursuing an opportunity as a BA in healthcare and you have that healthcare experience, update your resume to include the relative healthcare experience or healthcare software like Epic or what have you. So take the time to do all of that up front before applying and submitting your resume, so that you can get to that interview and get to the space where Gina described, because companies like ours are engaging in all these fancy tools to make our hiring process more streamlined and a better candidate experience as well. But the candidate who's in the job market has to take the time and do their due diligence to present the best, most sharpest, crispest looking resume for the opportunity that they're looking for. And further, to pair that up and follow up on the LinkedIn tips, make sure that your LinkedIn profile reads to the experience on your resume. So if you are omitting a job that you had because it was short time on your resume, but you have it on LinkedIn, just make sure that both of your profiles on LinkedIn and on the paper format, on the resume that you're presenting when you're applying, that they jive, that they read exactly alike. A lot of recruiters, especially those of us who have been in the industry for a long time, we take steps to make sure that we're recruiting and speaking to and sourcing or approaching, top-notch candidates. We want them to present well. We want to see what your recommendations are on LinkedIn. We want to see if you're active in the network, what volunteer work, what organizations or groups you belong to. So take time to really pretty up your profiles, both on LinkedIn and your resumes, and that they jive and that they look as good as possible to attract, the organizations you're looking to tap into. Sorry if that went too long, but I just wanted to make sure I, added that as well.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Yep.
I just wanted to point out real quickly, Fernando, again, since we're using tools like HireVue, sometimes you will be asked to do a Spanish interview if you happen to be applying for a bilingual position. So just wanted to let you know you're on a video recording system. So you gotta make sure you're dressed the part, not to just show up on a t-shirt and try to answer the questions. The other thing is take it serious, because I've seen some videos where some candidates really kind of look like they took it very candidly to do the interview, and it kind of looks to the point where very unprofessional for one. Two, their lines are kind of crossed, and they start throwing in the Spanglish. So remember, we're trying to do a bilingual interview. We want to hear you hablar español all the way through. So just know that that when you happen to get the opportunity to do any of the bilingual positions that are available at ACSC.
Thank you all. We're getting quite a few questions, so I'm going to try to go through most of them. There's someone that's asking if there's any specific roles that you're looking to fill at the event next week in Chicago.
I can speak to that, and I'm sure Gina can as well. I will actually be in Chicago both days. This is my third year participating at the AUSA event, so I'm very excited about it. It's a really nice opportunity, and for those of you on the call, a lot of the folks, the pictures that are coming in are actually BlueCross BlueShield employees, so we're all really excited to see our faces on the AUSA marketing material and really excited to network and meet with everybody. But yes, so in the video that we just saw, you saw Maddie Kaiser. She spearheads our EPMO efforts. She's our VP there. I'll be there representing talent acquisition. Anyone and everyone on this call, please take some time over the weekend and create a profile on our careers page and run some searches on the opportunities that we have posted. We have a huge emphasis, and we really value our D&I efforts here. We strive to create an environment where employees are valued and empowered, positively support the business, and we have an opportunity right now that I did want to plug, so I'm excited that this came up. We have an open opportunity for a senior talent acquisition consultant specifically for the D&I efforts. And if you all want to pull your pen out or your phone, write this job ID number down. It's job ID E as in elephant, G as in goat, 1031551. That's EG 1031551. This position will be based in Chicago, so you get to work with me. But you know, we have a beautiful location, and we just want somebody who's out there and really is passionate about the diversity and inclusion efforts that we work with Fernando, myself, and it's like it's a mindset here. So if anyone is interested or you know anyone, please feel free to share this information with them. Look me up on LinkedIn right now and send me an invite to connect, and I'll be more than glad to answer any offline questions as well about these roles.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Go ahead.
And this is Gina. As a follow-on to Patty, Fernando shared earlier that we're seeking individuals with STEAM backgrounds, right? So that's science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And so as you can imagine, that covers a variety of backgrounds. And I talked early on about how we have a number of available opportunities for program and project managers. We're looking for other IT professionals. My team specifically is looking for clinicians, but we've got sales and marketing, and well, quite frankly, the list goes on. And like Patty mentioned, be sure to visit our careers page so that you can see a comprehensive list of openings, and bring those openings with you as you engage our talent acquisition team there at the AUSA Summit and have a discussion.
There's another question. They're asking if the talent acquisition members are open to network on LinkedIn after a candidate applies to a job online, and how influential can an internal recommendation be for HR?
I can take this as well. This is Patty. I think this was a two-part question. So first question was, are we open to network on LinkedIn about open positions? Was that it?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So I would encourage anyone on this call to create a page, career profile and careers page, and apply. And then they can absolutely follow up with me, letting me know that they applied, and I will do my due diligence to introduce them to the appropriate recruiter so that they can be considered. Do employee referrals, get noticed, I guess, or get some visibility, before a cold external applicant? Of course they do. We have mechanisms in place here with our ATS where we will be able to prioritize applicants that have been referred. So just make sure that if you do follow through and create a profile on our careers page and apply, there are fields where you can specify who referred you to positions so that our recruiters can see that, and we can go ahead and take a step further with your application and make sure that you get I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you. And for those AUSA members, I do want to also mention that as part of our partnership, we do offer referrals. So if you go on our website and if you see a job that BlueCross BlueShield has posted and you apply to it and you send us your resume and the job ID, we will forward that information to our partners at HCFC. So always make sure to do that and to make sure that you use those networks.
For sure. We like to celebrate the ones with our partnerships here.
Another thing that I wanted to mention, because I'm getting quite a few questions about the summit, and I think there's the person that also asked, she joined later on in the webinar, so you will have a recording of the webinar as a follow-up email, so you'll be able to see all of this information and go back and view it. But additionally, there is a 50% discount for the summit, and so please make sure, and we are also sending resumes to our partners at BlueCross BlueShield this week, so that if they have an opportunity or if there's someone that they're looking to interview on site, that's also something that's available for our partners. Let's see. There's another question I have. There's someone that's an internal employee with HCSC. How can I get to find out who the hiring manager is to ask about the job before I apply? I have asked HR and they recommend to apply and talk to our recruiters. So for those internal employees at HCSC, how can they find out who the hiring manager is to ask about a specific job before they apply?
This is Gina. I can take that one. You're more than welcome to reach out to either a talent acquisition partner, someone within talent acquisition, and or an HR business partner that's appropriate to your particular business unit or business group, and let them know of the job number, position name, and they're more than happy to provide who that hiring manager is for that particular position. But I would highly encourage that if you do have interest for that particular opportunity, that you do apply directly to that role, so that way you can be taken into consideration.
Awesome. Thank you. There is another question about a member that's asking how impactful or how does it affect what they post on other social media platforms? Would that affect the application process for applicants?
So this is Patty. I think that, or did you want to take that, Fernando?
No, well, yes, I just want to understand the question. So what they post on social media, does that affect their application, right? Definitely.
So for example, what they post on Facebook or other social media platforms, does that affect the applicant?
Yes, this will go back to your personal brand. So just to put it simple, if whatever you put on social media, just know it's going to be public and it will be discoverable. So you want to make sure you put your best foot forward on all applications. That being said, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, anything out there that's not going to affect your brand. Because once you put it out there and you happen to have some branding image that's going to cause some issues, it would affect your possibility of being hired.
Absolutely, and I'll add to that. So not just, for BlueCross BlueShield, but you got to just kind of picture this. If you're in the job market right now or a professional or starting your career, developing, I've seen it. I've been staffing for a long time, and a recruiter or a potential hiring manager or maybe a new employer, they might be of a mindset of, let me just Google this person's name and see what I find, right? So they might be able to be in the process of extending you an offer, or maybe you just got a job offer or you just started. It takes one individual within an organization to think outside of the box, to look beyond the resume and look you up on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. And if they see something that is going to negatively impact your brand, it can potentially negatively impact your opportunity or your career. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. There is another question. There's someone that graduated back in 2015, and due to an illness, they have been out of the job market for 2 years, and now they're looking to go back into the job market. So they're looking to get advice from you as to what do you suggest regarding that huge gap and lack of experience.
This is Gina. I can take that one. First and foremost, you want to make sure that you do add that gap to your resume, and think about, what did you do during that gap? Did you take some time to pause to reflect because you were furthering your education? Were you perhaps taking care of another family member? Whatever reason it was that you decided to take a pause in your career or in your profession, make sure that you annotate that. Maybe perhaps during that time you took some time to volunteer. Again, that is definitely relatable skills and information, pertinent information that you want to include in your resume, that can definitely transfer into those opportunities that you're probably applying to and seeking. Patty, anything you'd like to add?
No, I agree. I mean, we see it all of the time, right? And again, part of the decision, so the recruiter, not just here, in general, their job is to see, are you qualified, right? Do you have the experience? As a recruiter, we see it a lot. We see folks that take time off, take leave due to the reasons that Gina just mentioned. And the hiring managers, the folks that are the decision makers ultimately, they usually want to say recent relative experience. So if I get 3 resumes and I see somebody who's had a gap for a year and a half, and maybe that person was continuing their education, right, full time, or yeah, maybe you weren't able to work, but you were taking some training, or you were doing online whatever, volunteering, all of the things that are applicable to your career can potentially impact your resume positively, or at least explain a gap. Make sure to include them, because the assumption will usually be there's a gap for a year, this person was unemployed and doing nothing. That's the general assumption out there. And what you want to do is make sure that you present it before they even ask it. This is what was going on. Yes, I was unemployed, but see below, I was pursuing my master's and I was a full-time student, and that will kind of bridge that gap and probably get that consideration for you, whereas not explaining certain gaps in your resume will probably get you passed up.
And this is Fernando. I just want to give some advice from the university perspective. Go ahead and leverage your career center at a university. If you're an alumni, you've been out for a couple of years, you're always welcome to go back to your university career center and get some advice and help. And on top of that, guess what? They always want to see their alumni have jobs. That improves their rating as a university and also as a career center. So it's a win-win for both. And don't be embarrassed about it. I mean, some people kind of feel like, I don't know, don't have any other options. They kind of close the door on themselves. So just know that you do have the power to go ahead and do that and use the resources that are available to you to the utmost so you can be able to secure that career.
Wow, really great information and tips. Thank you so much for sharing. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and end the webinar, but I want to leave you all with those of you who are looking to attend the summit, make sure that you go to their website, complete that profile, and make sure that you are ready, that you come prepared to meet with them, that you search the job that you're looking for, and that you ask specific questions. And I just want to thank our panelists for being so insightful, for sharing all these really powerful tips and tricks for our members to continue on in their careers, and hopefully we have many applications after this webinar. So please reach out to us if you have any questions. My email is Stephanie@AUSA Online. I will leave it in the chat box, and we will send a follow-up email with a recording for those of you that logged in a little bit later. So you have all of that information, and then links to our summits and so on. So thank you so much all for joining. Any other comments that our panelists want to make?
It was our pleasure being part of the call, and thank you. And definitely look us up on LinkedIn and apply, please.
Yes, definitely. All righty. Well, thank you all so much, and we look forward to seeing you at the summit.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.